Привет из Сингапура! С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about acting and let's start with the definition.
Acting is a very important skill when you talk, for example, with child and you will explain the math or physics or chemistry. If you are acting, they will remember everything you talk. If you will be severe, if you will just stand as a pillar, they will maybe understand not so much. When you talk, for example, with office workers, when you talk to your board, you also could be as serious as that, or you could smile and you could show your attitude, and everyone will say, oh, this is a very warm person, and he or she is quite convincible. So let's take into account his or she's point of view.
So what are the fundamentals of the good acting? And I can't really not to ask about how acting actually could be intersecting with the scenic speech and maybe other skills that could be quite similar to it.
When you talk about scenic speech, this is about the small square of your face. This is just about your lips. And it is enough to talk, for example, in microphone. But when you talk about acting, this is about a body language. You should be flexible. I don't know how to say, but there are some puppets on the strings, and there are a person with manipulating with them. How this dolls is called?
Puppets?
Puppets, yes, thank you. I was not sure. So you should be like a puppet. So you could make some exercise to show that your neck, your elbows, your arms, your body is twisted in any way, and it is quite not usual to serious people. Always we are trying to be so strength, and we are trying to be very severe, and we do not allow to use any gestures. When we talk, for example, with gypsies or Italian people, they always use their hand as far as it possible. And there is a saying that we have a television. For example, in Russia, television size is with your elbow. So you could go out of this small border. But when we talk about Italians, they have a quite bigger diagonal. So they could be switching the hands with a quite big distance.
There is even a meme on the internet when they ask some Italian to talk and actually keep their hands together. So for them, it was like no really way that they can express themselves without some like additional acting. When it comes to the levels of acting, so what are the things that one could, show to the world so that they could really take them as the person that they trying to be or trying to show to other people?
When you're trying to explain something, you will use too much your brain power, and your brain will forget about your body. So sometimes it is very strange, dangerous by fingers or some body gestures. So you like a squeezed lemon, and you're trying to say something. Let me explain. Let me explain. But if you are unable, if you're able to be an actor, you could be as a fox, which are trying to catch the chicken. You will be looking friendly, you will be smiling, you will very convictable, and everyone will think, oh, what a pleasant person. Maybe it is worth to listen to him or her.
And obviously, when it comes to the mistakes that one person could make during their communication to one person, or maybe a group of people, or maybe the entire big whole of the audience, what are the things that they probably could be doing wrong, but not aware, but may want to fix?
Maybe I will need your advice. How to say рассогласование?
Miscommunication.
Okay, there is a first level of mistake when your body do not support your speech. For example, you are saying, we have three principles which are very meaningful in our life. I show two fingers, but talk about three fingers. I am talking about how important is this, but I am show this on the very low level. Or for example, I will say, I am not married, and I will press my finger on the same place where it should be a wedding ring. Or for example, I will say that I have a very small daughter, but I will show as high as me. So first kind of error is miscommunicating. Second is rudeness or use do not write words. For example, I was terrified. It was time I was in Paris, and it was Charles de Gaulle airport, and suddenly I came to the counter and asked to someone who was not visible by me, can I get this one black muffin? And suddenly I saw a quite big Negro, and I was thinking maybe he will angry because he also black, but happy to me, he was not angry. And I was saying, sorry, I was meaning black because this color of the food is black. I know this is not polite to use this language, but this person was too tired to answer. So he just showed me this gesture, and it was understandable. He did not want to continue the conversation. And the last level, when you are talking, you should be in the same music team. For example, when you talk with someone, you should use rhythm. So it would be like a song. Never use cut edges in your speech.
And when it comes to, like looking at ability to look into yourself, or maybe acting as a different person, because like, as you mentioned, for example, you can be acting as a fox, so you should think about yourself. So how it will work when you're trying to use some sort of like an image, like how do you live and breathe by this character that you kind of are trying to play?
You should understand that not all roles are suitable for you. For example, when we conduct this lecture or these lessons in the School of Troubleshooters, we offer to play 50 different roles. And a lot of people who like to speak as a Georgians, Gruzины. Georgians?
Yes, Georgians.
You know, in Russian language, in Ukrainian language, Georgians, it's quite easy to imitate. But we are talking how to speech could be pronounced by Blondie, by some person who has not enough teeth, or for example, an old American or a young Australian, and so on. And suddenly people realize that just several roles which are easy to play, but all other are very hard. For example, to talk like a President Trump, or how to talk as a Berlusconi, Prime Minister of Italy. But if you know that you have in your wardrobe several roles, you could switch them smoothly, and it is very useful. All people who are company owners or top managers, they have a lot of roles to play, and they became very skillful in 2 or 3 years.
And when it comes to applying the acting skills in some maybe unusual situations, what could be specifics here, and how did it help you in your life?
It was time I was with my client and then friend who was died several months ago. We were on the training. It was called how winners people voice use. And suddenly we were teaching how to shout to the people as you are a policeman, or for example, you are a supervisor in the jail. And now I like to use this voice. And when I'm talking with policemen on the road or some other places, I behave myself as a general of the police. I am never showing my credential. I am never saying that I am from police, but a lot of people from special forces understand that maybe I am from this side. And you know, it was a very funny story. It was time I was asking two guys from Ukraine come to me and work in Russia, and they were trying to find a flat in Moscow, and suddenly they were captured by the police because they were found as a suspicious man. They asked policemen to call me and give a chance. And I was talking with this guy with metallic in voice, and suddenly he was very polite, and he said, okay, if I would know that is you, I will not capture them. But he didn't know me at all, but it was from my voice.
Interesting enough, I actually probably could give one more example from my life. So sometimes when, let's say I need to go to my friend's place, you need to pass through the condo and there is a security guard. So sometimes they would be asking you about your credentials and stuff too, and which you need to go in for. And I was thinking, okay, what is the way to actually pass by and don't really give anything? So there are a couple of tricks. Obviously, you can look like as you live here, so that, you know, like when you're wearing flip-flops and be like relaxed. Another thing is like when you have the keychain and actually you're putting it out the moment you approach, so probably it triggers this mechanism in their head. They feel like, okay, he's pulling his keys. Probably he's someone who's staying here and he's smiling, you know, like putting his eyebrows up. So maybe it's a pass. So sometimes it works, I would say. Last question will be how knowing about the acting could help to make this world a better place.
First level to communicate with people is the words. You just saying the words and you have a hope that everyone will follow them and you will and fulfill your orders. Second, you will play with your voice to try to be pleasant. And second, a third way is to act as a similar person, a familiar person, or even famous person. And in this way, you will not just be allowed to do something, but you will also be greeted.
А мы рассмотрели навык актерское мастерство и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира!